Hey Scorpio, thanks for joining me for your July reading. I'm Madeleine, if we haven't met before. So, before we get into your cards for this month, I just want to talk about your stars for a second. So everybody went through a lunar eclipse on July 5th. And a lunar eclipse is like a full moon on steroids. Full moons are powerful enough in themselves. They represent things coming to either some kind of culmination or potentially a crisis. They are calling for our attention. My favorite analogy is to talk about a pot of boiling water and how if you are aware of what you're putting in the boiling water and you're aware of how long it's been boiling, then you can cook up something, really concoct something amazing with full moon energy / eclipse energy. But if you are not keeping an eye on that pot, if you forget that you got a pot of boiling water on, doesn't matter what was in there, that shit will boil over and create a big old mess. So the place in our chart where the lunar eclipse falls is the place that is begging for our attention, for our consciousness. And for you, Scorpio, it is the house of communications, the house of emails, phone conversations. This is also the house of kind of our daily to-do list, and specifically the way that we think and communicate is the third house. So you want to keep the way that you are talking to people, even in very casual conversations, which is also ruled by this house. It's funny to say that, but there are houses representing kind of deeper connections. But this is kind of like acquaintances and the kind of lighter side of networking, coworkers, things like that. You might be surprised that something that could seem very casual or something that you're not paying that much attention to, your to-do list or whatever, could lead to some amazing things. So come correct in conversation in July. That's what I'll say, because you never know who might talk to who might know who and pass along your information. So just, you want to be like kind of on top of it. Spirit is also, I don't know if he's going to pop up in your cards. Spirit is showing me the King of Swords when I say that. So it's, swords are the air element. That is all about controlling and managing the way that you speak to other people, where you're kind of like, where are you a thought leader? And where do you actually need to be a bit more of like a follower? And Spirit is just using that as kind of like a balance. You know, like it's important to know your authority, and it's also important to know where you might have blind spots, because if we don't know that we have blind spots, that's when we start crashing into shit. When we know, when we have the humility to recognize that we have a blind spot, we have the wisdom to check it before we bash into something. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Spirit's already coming in strong with the channeled information, so let's get right into your cards. Spirit, for Scorpio Sun, Scorpio Moon, Scorpio Rising, Scorpio Dominant folks, what do they need to know in the month of July for their highest good? About where they are, where they're headed, what is available to and around them, your guidance to move toward their future with grace, and to move toward the best future possible by making the best possible decisions in the present. What does Scorpio need to know about their past, present, future, to reach their greatest joy and fulfillment in spirit? For Scorpio. Wow. I don't even know how many cards we got here, Scorpio. Let's see. You can probably hear my cat having the best time in the world over there with her crinkly little fish. Alright, you got a bonus card here, Scorpio. Let's see. Spirit for July. What is the story for Scorpio in July? What do they need to know for their highest good? That's a lot of cups, Scorpio. You are a water sign. We don't doubt it. Wow. Jeez! Cups, cups, cups. Some of you are straight up getting new jobs in July. Others of you, you have a talent or a skill that you've been kind of sitting on that I feel like you may feel pressured into, like, well, shit, I didn't want to be pressured into doing my own thing, but this is kind of pushing me in a direction of doing what it is that I've always kind of wanted to do. So some of you may be revisiting old ideas or side hustles that you've been thinking about doing for a while, and maybe again just haven't maybe had like the motivation, but once things kind of start to get a little bit rocky, it's like, oh shit, there's my motivation, let's go ahead and do something. And I want to remind you here, Scorpio, before we go on, that these are of course general readings, so I'm going to be getting a few different things for different Scorpios. But the kind of pervading theme here is that something has become untenable, and it's kind of become clear that you want to be heading in a new direction, that certain things are not working for you, that certain things are like more trouble than they're worth is actually what I'm hearing. Like you, Scorpio, have been like pouring your effort, your love, your time, your energy into something, and you're feeling a little exhausted and possibly a bit disenchanted. Like, okay, like, haven't I done enough? And kind of sitting back and crossing your arms and being like, are you serious? Is that not enough? What do you want from me? Just going to point out in the position of where you find yourself, Four of Cups. If you can see, this chick on her hoodie just says over it. I love this version of the card. First of all, I just want to say Spirit does not blame you or judge you in any way for those of you that are feeling kind of over it. For those of you that are feeling like, why does it have to be so hard? Why me? That's actually what they're saying as I look at this card, like, why me? And Spirit just said you're asking the wrong why. It's not like, why is this happening to me? That is the best question. It is, how is this pain sculpting my soul? What is this showing to me? And it would be really great for you to think about how this is showing you how strong you are, because that's really what Spirit is saying. You have the Emperor sitting in the past. And what I feel with that is that there was a time, Scorpio, where you might have a little more on top of it, a little more in control, and you're still in a good place. You have the Nine of Cups at the center of the reading, but the thing about the Nine of Cups, this is what I was alluding to earlier, is that sometimes we can be maybe a little bit complacent, and life kind of has to come around, and friction, we couldn't have traction without friction, right? And the Nine of Cups can sometimes be a card of like resting on our laurels, not enough friction, and that Five of Pentacles is like, well, like now we need more money, or now we need you to take on more work because, you know, maybe you're still employed, but we got rid of this other person and now you're taking on their stuff. Five of Pentacles is that card of like doing so much and maybe not feeling properly rewarded for it. But a couple of interesting things here. I'm going to point out that in the conclusion / key position, we have two cards. Like I said, Spirit had a bonus card for you. Five of Pentacles followed by Six of Pentacles, being rewarded indeed, and for doing it differently, Ace of Wands, for trusting your inspiration, for allowing yourself to think in a new way and try something in a different way. So again, some of you, this could be very entrepreneurial with the Emperor in your past, of like, I've been wanting to do this side hustle, or I am creative, or I do make jewelry, food, whatever, and people love it, so maybe I could just like sell it to a few people I know or whatever to start with and see what happens. People will support your creative gift, Scorpio. And the Six of Pentacles implies a giving of generosity. So, and they brought me right over here, right after saying that. She is in the potential position, Queen of Pentacles. This could be you, but you plan. Spirit is just joking and trying to keep you lighthearted. This could be you, Scorpio. This could be you with more than enough. So if you start in July feeling Five of Pentacles, we couldn't get more opposite than Queen of Pentacles, who is like, I know how to take a little tiny something and make it into so much more. And I nurture my money. I nurture my skills. I nurture my resources. That's why they continue to grow. That's what Spirit is saying. So again, this is kind of interesting because that Nine of Cups of like kind of kicking back and being like, I think I've learned everything I need to learn. You're a fixed sign, right, Scorpio? So sometimes we can get into a little bit of like a rut of like, there, like now I know how to do my job. But there's always ways to broaden and grow. And Spirit is telling you that any effort you make to broaden and grow and to see how this pain is sculpting my soul, how this challenge, how this sandpaper friction is polishing me and increasing my ability to get traction. Here's the other thing I wanted to point out. In the position of where you find yourself, Four of Cups, a little bit of boredom, a little bit of disenchantment, potentially even a little bit of like depression at times of just like, I'm feeling down. Five of fucking Pentacles. This is kind of rough right now. This is kind of hard. But the thing about the Four of Cups also, though, is that there is a hidden blessing. And that if we don't have, you know, a bigger, brighter, broader perspective, we might miss out on it. And look what is showing up in your future. I mean, the imagery doesn't get a lot clearer than saying, hey, look what's coming toward you in your future. This new, beautiful beginning, this refreshing, amazing opportunity to get something different, maybe than even what you were hoping for. But the implication of the Four of Cups is like, hey, what you were hoping for was within your very limited human scope of like, you know what would be amazing is this. And Spirit is like, you know what would really be amazing? This other thing that comes as a complete surprise, but will blow your mind exactly because it's a big surprise. Spirit has a better imagination than we do, if you can think of it that way, because if you think of each of us as like, you know, one pinpoint of consciousness and Spirit is connected to all of us and beyond, they may have a blessing, an opportunity for you that you couldn't conceive of. So if you can, as much as you can, release any idea of this was how it should have been. It should be like this, but instead I have this bullshit right here. Because that keeps us weighed down. That keeps us attached. Versus, okay, that didn't work out, so what's next? What is it? What do I need to learn? What can I get from this? How is this pain sculpting my soul? If I got rejected by this person or this job or whatever, what is this showing me about myself? Where can I see that I can improve or I could grow or whatever, right? Beautiful blessing coming toward you. And whenever I see multiple aces in the same reading, it is calling for refreshing new energy, new ideas, introducing new things into your life. And I was starting to say earlier, the Six of Pentacles is a really wonderful follow-up to the Five of Pentacles because A, it says that you're going to feel like you have enough, that you will be the recipient of generosity from other people. Again, what it is that you have, other people want it. That's what Spirit is saying. But also the other thing about that is the more willing you are to give of yourself, whatever you do have, not beyond, you know what I'm saying? I'm not telling you you have, you know, a crumb of bread left and you should give that to somebody else, like, and then give them a piggyback ride to wherever they're going. No, you need to keep enough for yourself. But if there is a certain amount of money or time or energy that you are able to give to who or what you consider to be a worthy cause, giving away your talents this month, I feel like brings about kind of really wonderful and surprising returns. So for example, you might be like working less because you got furloughed because your hours have been cut because, you know, the world is having a tower moment. And you might be like, well, I have not been able to find, you know, a part-time job or, you know, anything like that. And I am struggling, but I guess this gives me more time and I could just go, you know, send my neighbor an email and ask, you know, they're elderly, maybe they need something from the store, or, you know, like, okay, I have a lot of time on my hands, maybe I'll get back to writing my blog, or maybe I will finally make that YouTube channel, or maybe I will start putting my writing up on social media. work and harvest your talent, because I do feel like the blessings are coming to you, but I, again, feel like the friction is part of what leads to the blessing. There's some really wonderful love and support in your life as well. We have the Knight of Cups crowning your reading. But I want to point out, the Eight of Cups is what's going on the inside. And Scorpio, this is walking away from a situation that you have poured and poured and poured into, and it is not giving back to you. So whether that's a relationship, whether that's a job, whether that's a habit, like, wow, I put all this time into this habit, but like it just makes me feel like shit. So this can be addictions, whether, again, emotional or physical, and deciding that ultimately this isn't what's good for me. And as much as I love it, and as much as it has given me, or I felt like it had given me over the years, over the months, I have to do something that takes a lot of strength, and I have to walk away from this because I recognize it's not helping me grow. That's all it is. It's like, this is stagnant water. This is no longer fresh and flowing and new. This is old and soggy, and like, you know, if you water something too much, it eventually creates root rot. So there might be some root rot in your life where it's like, God, I just need to pull this out. This isn't it. I gotta go. And you must trust that your courage will be rewarded by the new waters that you seek, in whatever corner of the world that you are seeking them, whatever corner of reward you're looking, money, love, opportunity, joy, whatever it is you're looking for, the more you are ready and willing to move away from what is no longer working for you, and move toward the friction of the unknown. I mean, these are all eclipse things too, is like, sorry, you needed this detox out of your life, so here it comes, we're detoxing it, we're taking it, because there's something amazing and wonderful for you out here. And all we want is for you to have your hands open to take it, and not full of 8 nasty old rank cups full of stagnant ass water. You are ready for something beautiful, new, refreshing, exciting. Sign of transformation is getting some transformative influence in their life this month, Scorpio. So what's going on? Do you know? Are any of you looking for new jobs, or starting new entrepreneurial endeavors, or just feel like you're going to bring some great balance into your life this month? Some of you might be signing new contracts and leases in order to bring some balance into your life. I'd be very curious to know. So, wow, Spirit just said, yeah, some of you, it's like signing things to walk away. So again, could be leases because you're moving to a new place. Could also be things like divorce or separation. Like, I'm done. I'm over it. I'm moving on. Again, the reward on the other side is so worth this brave journey that you're making, Scorpio. Trust your soul even above your heart. Woof! Woof! What's going on, Scorpio? Let me know. You got questions? You got comments? You got stories? I would love to hear. And it really, really, really helps the channel too. So I really appreciate those of you who take the time to like and comment and like share this with your friends. It really, really means the world to me. So thank you. Blessings and love to you and your Scorpio. And if I don't see you in a video before then I hope I see you in your August reading. Bye-bye.